when I'm working with a client, it's very easy for me to see where they're missing. And it's like unpeeling an onion. Every time we go to another level, a level up, there's another chink in the armor, another weak link in the chain that gets identified. The mental area is the first one. That's the first line of defense. This is where we have to catch it. So we're familiar with the stimulus response cycle. The stimulus response cycle, for all intents and purposes, happens inside of a half second. You have a stimulus, then there's a reaction, and then there's a response. And most people have just collapsed the response and the reaction into one. So you have a stimulus and you have a response. In fact, they call it stimulus response. It's actually stimulus reaction response, because there's a quarter of a second between the stimulus and the reaction, and another quarter of a second between the reaction and the response, assuming the response is from your conscious mind. If you let the response equal the reaction, then you're taking your conscious mind out of play and you're giving up the power of choice. But before we can even do that, before the stimulus happens, and if we're having 33,000 stimulus response cycles a day, that means we are essentially priming ourselves for the next one. We're constantly priming ourselves. What we're going to do is look at the state of being. Now, there's a mental state of being and a physiological state of being. Both of those could be priming you for fight or flight. The physiological state of being, if you're tired, if you're worn out, if you toxins, dehydrated, remember, dehydration means thick blood. Thick blood moves slowly. That means the brain is not getting the blood and the nutrients and oxygen that it needs, and that primes you for fight or flight. Even something as simple as posture can prime you for fight or flight if it's slumped over like this, defeated. So we've got a physiological state of being or physical state of being, and we have a mental state of being.